Osiki, who cranks hard.
Thank you, Brian. I also would like to thank all of you for taking time out of your schedules to be with us today. This is truly a special day for Badger hockey as well as Badger athletics and the hockey world in Wisconsin. Coach Bob Johnson used to say this is a great day for hockey. Well, this is really a great day for Wisconsin hockey. We've got a long and storied history of success and championships in the Wisconsin hockey program. It's very important for our athletic department to have success and continued success in hockey. I'm very confident that we've taken the right steps today in reestablishing the dominance of our hockey program. I'm excited and proud to introduce Tony Granato as our next head hockey coach. And also would like to introduce associate head coaches Don Granato and Mark Osiki. Hold up your shirt. They want to take pictures.
Coach Granato will have some opening comments, and then we can take questions.
Well, a lot of you have said you're happy to have me back. I want you guys all to know that I'm happier to be back. This is I think from the moment I left campus, it was probably close to 30 years ago, always in the back of my mind and in my heart was, please someday end up back in Madison. And the way all things have played out now, and I'm able to have Donnie with me and Mark with me, and to come back and be part of the program again, I can't tell you what it means to me. Badger hockey, even though I've been out of the program for a long time, has never left my heart. I've followed it. I've cheered for it. I've had my relationships that have been established through our former teammates and alumni group that I know Barry has referred to his locker room and his players that have walked through Camp Randall Tunnel. They have a special bond. Well, the hockey players and the alumni and the people that have been involved in the program, whether they were student athletes, whether they were fans of the program, whether they were supporters, whether they were part of the band with Mike LeCrone, we have a special bond, a brotherhood, a fraternity of something that is really hard to leave. It's been with me since the day I left, and to be back here and kind of representing that group as the next head coach means a lot to me. This whole thing started about 2 weeks ago. I got a call from Barry. It was an interesting call because I had been tipped off that he was going to call and ask for my advice on the direction of the program, on what I thought of the program, and what I thought needed to be done to get the program to be the University of Wisconsin Badger program that's the best in the country. And I gave him a few ideas. The two of the ideas are sitting next to me. The other idea was Mark Johnson. And he said, well, how do I put the best staff together? And I was trying to come up with creative ideas to figure out how to get Donnie and Mark, or Mark and Mark, or Mark and Donnie to go together. And somehow in that conversation, he hinted, I don't know if he recommended or whatever, but it came about, and the question arose on, would you ever want to be the head coach of the University of Wisconsin Badgers? And my initial reaction was absolutely, but only on the conditions that I could bring these two guys with me as my associate coaches. These two guys are head coaches. They're two of the most respected people that I know in the game of hockey for how they act, how they work, what they bring to their teams. I've watched Donnie for a long time. I've admired and watched Mark for a long time. I tried to hire Mark time earlier when I was professional with Colorado. It didn't pan out the way we had hoped, and I finally get the day to have both of them on my staff. So these two guys are really, I guess, the final piece on why I'm here. I just want to let you all know that from a recruiting side of thing and from an idea side of thing, that how we're going to get the program to be not just a good program. We're going to be back like we were in the Bob Johnson and the early Jeff Sauer years and the early Mike Eaves years when we were not just winning, but we had a product on the ice that when the building was jammed and Mike LeCron's band was going nuts, there was energy, there was passion, the community was behind us, the students were behind us. And that's what our goal is. We all know what it's going to take. It's going to take work, but we're going after the best recruits, and we're going to get them. And with the help of the university, who is our best asset, I can't imagine a kid walking onto this campus and wanting to go anywhere else from a student-athlete perspective. This facility right here, I couldn't imagine a kid going to any other school and thinking that there'd be a better place to play. And the fans and the community and being part of that and playing in front of the University of Wisconsin fans. So we need the fans' help. We need to get you back in the building. We need you to spread the word that from this day forward, we'll do everything we can to put the product on the ice that you want to see. We want to see an entertaining game. We want to see the best athletes that we possibly can get, the best student athletes, the ones that are committed to doing things right in the classroom, right in the community, and right on the ice. And Mark has a history of finding superstars that are still playing in the NHL. There's captains. I could probably, how many captains are in the NHL on guys you recruited?
There's a couple.
There's more than a couple. So we're looking for those type of players that understand what the brotherhood of Badgers mean, what it means to be a Badger. We want those guys that have that pride and the same feeling that I have, that the Suitors have, that Scott Mellenby, the Richters and Johnsons, Mark Johnson, everybody that's come through this program has something special that they have and will have with them the rest of their lives. We want those players to understand what that is. So that's what we're looking to do. I could talk all day about Badger hockey. I think the best thing to do is probably to open up to specific questions for Mark, for Donnie. The one thing also, there's a lot of people that I want to thank. First, I don't thank my wife, Linda. So I told you how happy I was. I think she's happier. She's a Madison girl, and I know Robin's happier. This is where Robin, Mark's wife, went to school. So we're all have our Madison ties that fortunately brought us all back here together. But Barry, I want to thank you from the standpoint that the way you reached out, your interest and your passion and your willingness to understand how important and your commitment to understanding how important Wisconsin hockey is to the alumni, and the way you reached out to say it's important to us, it's important to the university that we get the program back to the level that we need it to. And that really was inspiring to me I think I was coming no matter what, but that certainly it certainly helped my thinking, and it certainly helped my discussions with Mark and Donnie to make sure that they were on board as well. The athletic board, who I had some great conversations with, that will help us along the way, and the Board of Regents as well. So thank everyone there. One person that I want to mention that's not able to be here today, Mike Eaves is on vacation. Mike Eaves is a Badger legend. Mike Eaves did an unbelievable job with this program. He did an unbelievable job with this program as a player, as a coach, as an ambassador, and represented us really well. He's on vacation in a warm place. It's a lot warmer than where it is here today, but he I'd like to thank him for everything and all his contributions as well. So we'll open it up to questions.
We've got microphones on each side. If you've got a question, please raise your hand. Todd, right here in front.
Tony, welcome. Can you talk about the process that you went through to decide that it was time for you to leave a track that had you in the NHL to come back to a college track?
Sure. I loved my job in Detroit. I still love it. I still, just so everybody knows, we're in a battle for our playoff lives. We're 1 point out. We played in Montreal last night. I was fortunate enough that today's a day off on our schedule, so I was able to come in for the day. My focus and my intention from now till the end of our season will be with that. As far as wanting to get back to college, I wanted to come home. When someone said, why would you leave the NHL? I said, because I'm going back to Madison. And that was an easy answer. And there was not really any, the NHL is good for this. There was no hesitation. So I think that's the biggest answer. I get to be a Badger again, and I get to be part of the community. I get to be part of the university. I'm a proud Wisconsinian, Madison person, Badger person, whatever, and I'm just happy to be back. And just so everybody knows, the day-to-day activity, Mark's still tied up with his team. He's currently hired by Chicago Blackhawks, working for Rockford. He's in charge of developing their young stars. He still has responsibilities left there. Donnie was with the U.S. development program for the last 5 years. His season is winding down. These guys will be talking on available time. Donnie will basically be taking over the day-to-day activities while Mark and I are still working. So that'll be happening as soon as this press conference is over. Donnie will be pounding away trying to get everything in place.
Jay.
Tony, how different is the college hockey game, not just the game, but the process of the game, different than when you played?
Well, I don't think hockey's any different whether you're a mite player, whether you're a high school player, whether you're playing men's league. People that have success, they work hard, they have a passion for the game. Obviously, you need skill and you need to have the right players and the right chemistry and all that stuff to go. But it's a game. And we want to recruit the athletes that are committed, the student athletes that are committed to doing things right in the classroom. And when they get on the ice, we want to play an entertaining game of hockey. And Donnie says this over and over when he talks about hockey. A game of hockey is an entertainment, and we need people in the seats to enjoy our product. So we're looking to play the same type of game that maybe we played in Pittsburgh, the same type of game we play in Detroit, an exciting brand with skill. And like I said, I think whether you're coaching college or high school, you want to bring that energy and that passion on the ice to have that type of a team. Thanks, Jay.
Todd.
Barry, okay. A question for Barry, if I could. Barry, you've had to address perceptions in the past that of hockey's importance not matching other programs here. Is your answer to that these three gentlemen next to you in the process that got them here?
That would start to answer it, yes. As well as our hockey facility. Hockey is important to our athletic department because of the tremendous history and success that they've had. And we miss something if we don't have success in hockey. So I think that speaks volumes. That's enough said about that.
Tom.
Oh, you're not going to like this then, Barry. No. Tony, what do you see here as the commitment to hockey at this point?
Well, what I do know is the assets or the tradition and history and everything it has to offer as the, I guess what we're looking to do is we're looking to get the best recruits in here. And the way we can do that are the things that we have to use to our advantage. I mentioned the campus, I mentioned the education that you get, I mentioned the school spirit, being part of something special in a community. Those are the type of things that we're looking to use to our advantage. And I don't mean to be changing subjects on the question. The other thing that we know we have to do, we got work to do, and that Donnie and Mark and myself will be out working to find the best available next Badgers. We're looking for the next Joe Pavelskis, the next Ryan McDonoughs, the next Mike Richters, next Chris Chelios. And that's our focus at this point. And when we Donnie will start those searches as soon as we're done with the press conference.
Brian.
For Don and Mark, what were the conversations like with Tony when this was all coming together?
They were pretty quick. You gave me an easy one. The conversations were short and quick and to the point. As Tony mentioned, this is not a job that you turn down. You know, and more to that question, I know Tony mentioned already the resources here, the facilities that are here are key. Tony mentioned that at the outset. You know, those are enormous bonuses, and those are things that we looked at as a coach. You're looking at 3 competitive guys. Anybody that's a coach would tell you that. That's pretty simple. You're not in this business if you're not a competitor. All 3 of us had pretty good jobs. We didn't need to leave our jobs. When Barry called Tony, and Tony in turn called Mark and I, never mind those pretty good jobs. This is a great job, and it was a pretty easy one. But it was an easy one because we feel we can bring high-end talent in here. We've all worked with high-end talent day to day. We've pushed high-end talent. We've had to tell them hard things. You're not doing this. You need to do this. But we've been in the trenches with those guys. We believe we can get those guys here. We believe that what's here is enough to sell to get those guys here. Not only do we believe it, we feel it. It's more than a belief. When you're in that and you're in this business, you know you can do certain things. And you know, as Tony mentioned, the facility we're sitting in right now is incredible. The locker rooms that we just walked through are incredible. The pictures on the walls and the history is incredible. So we feel that we'll be able to really do something special here. We have an opportunity to do something special. The 3 of us have talked about coaching together for a long time. A lot of fishing trips, a lot of golf courses. So when Tony made the call to myself and then Mark, and we all got on a call and started texting each other, it was nonstop. So it's been great. It was really short and easy. It was 5 seconds and let's get on to business. How do we win? And it hasn't stopped since.
Yeah, there wasn't much discussion. I mean, when Tony called, we talked about it. You think about it. There wasn't a decision to be made. This athletic department feels like family. I've been a part of it before, and it really does feel like family. And I said it to these 2 guys. I've known them for over 30 years. They're family. And how much the thing that we talked about is how much fun is it going to be to pull up to the Kohl Center each day. I mean, there's nothing better than that. And we've all worked in different areas, different spots. They've all been great. This is special. And this is really, really, really special. And when I hung up the phone with Tony, the initial phone call and discussion, I think I was on the phone to Donnie within 30 seconds, and we started talking, and we talked about how great it's going to be. We started talking recruiting, talking about players. So there wasn't much of a decision. I mean, it was like Tony said, it's like coming home. I mean, this is a special spot, and everything feels like family here.
Dennis.
For Tony, how much do you know about the guys sitting over there in the red shirts, and how much contact have you been able to make with your players that you're inheriting?
Well, today we're going to have a meeting here in a couple hours. I've watched them. I saw the game at Michigan live this year, an entertaining game. There are some really good players. There's some good pieces in place. I think what needs to be done and will be said today is the expectations individually and as a group need to be raised. The results the past 2 years haven't been good enough for Wisconsin hockey. So we are going to address that from the standpoint that we got to be better. We're going to put together a plan that's going to be in place for these guys to over the next, I think it's 185 days. It was pointed out to me today before the first day of practice next year that there's things that they can do to make sure they're ready for the challenge and opportunity that they're going to have. So there's a lot of other things we'll discuss, but I'm looking forward to it. I know, like I said, there's some great pieces in place. We got some great student athletes here, and we'll try to add to that and bring in more that can help them along the way, so we can get to the level that we need to.
What's the bench dynamic going to be like?
Well, Mark is a defensive specialist. He's always worked with the D and developed the D. Donnie's worked with skill and forwards. So those will be the basic dynamics of the bench. The practice things, a good thing for me, if I need to be somewhere and not be at practice because I need to go see a recruit or need to see a game somewhere else, these two guys are head coaches. I can leave at any second and know that everything will be handled fine. So that part of it for me, like I said, to have two associate coaches that are actually head coaches, they know what I need, I know what they need, and the responsibilities for the bench duties will be exactly that. The practice responsibilities will be split up. We'll have Mark run certain parts of practice and things that he specializes in, and the same for Donnie.
I guess my question is, what will the bench dynamic be like?
It's going to be energy on that bench. We might not look very intense right now, but all three of us are intense.
Brian, do you think Donnie and my job is going to be to keep Tony in control and keep him off the dasher? Probably.
This question would be more for Barry, but by having this open to the public, is that kind of saying something about the, well, I guess the resurgence of the program, or what you hope to gain by the program of this big hire?
Well, I think it's a very unique hire. And as I told him today, all but one of them was on my short list. Tony wasn't on the short list. And everyone that I talked to, the different people that I talked to, that I relied on, they all started the same way. Well, Tony's the guy, but he won't be interested because he's an NHL guy. And then Oz and Donnie and Mark Johnson. Those are the guys that everybody that I talked to, those were the names that came up. And I sat and laughed with these guys. I said, so you guys were all on my short list, all but one. And so we have every one of those guys on the short list in the program today. So that's what makes it special. I think this is a very unique hire, a special hire. I think it brings excitement and energy to the program, and we'd like to share that with the hockey fans and those that care about Wisconsin hockey.
Tom?
Mark, over here. You'd probably have the best perspective on this as anyone, but what does this program need to get back to elite status?
Well, expectations, and we talked about it earlier today, is just rolling up your sleeves and be willing to get after the high-end recruits. I mean, that for me, that's a fun part of it. It was fun when I was here, and that's what we're going to do. That's what we're hired to do. That's what we're going to do. And we want those high-end players to be able to feel like Wisconsin's the place for them. And you just have to be willing to roll up the sleeves, get in the battles with the certain other universities, and know you're going to win some and lose some, but you got to get into those battles. And that's something that we're, like Tony said, Donnie's going to be starting that right after this the press conference, and then Tony and I will be able to jump in as soon as our responsibilities are done. But that's really what we have to get after. We have to get out there and make it known that this is a spot for every kid in the country that they want to come. Everyone in North America is a spot that they want to come.
Anything else? Tony says yes, he's the boss.
Okay, all three of you guys come in as Badger legends to us old-timers. Do you feel any extra pressure being a legend starting out?
Wow, a legend.
Seriously.
Well, thank you for that kind endorsement or compliment. We're hard workers. I don't consider us legends. If that is, wow, legend, huh? Yeah, I see the jersey. That's a nice jersey. Yeah, we're here to work. We're here. We know what it's going to take. The best asset that Mark and Donnie and I have is that the passion of the game that we have. You can't have success in this game. You can't be in this game for that long unless you're committed and willing to go out. And Mark just said roll his sleeves up and go after the best recruit. That's going to mean lots of hours on the road. That's going to be lots of hours in rinks finding those kids. That means lots of hours away from here to be able to find those guys. And we want to bring them back to you and bring them back to here. So we're workers. We've I think the admiration we have for one another when we are together, if we're working out, I'm pushing him to go harder, he's pushing me to go harder, and that's the way we are in nature, and that's the way we'll be as a coaching staff.
Tom.
Barry, over here, Barry. You mentioned Mark Johnson, you talked to him. Was he interested, was he consideration, or are you happy maybe with right where he is?
I think I'm very happy where he is. I visited with Mark about just the program in general and asked if he was interested. To be honest with you, I never got an answer back. He said he wanted to think about it, and I told him, you have a pretty good gig where you are. I really never heard back, so I took that probably no. And things started happening fast then, so we had to move forward.
Yes, we do. Thank you, Ronnie. We will be connected. And that's Ronnie Vincent, another one of our that's a Badger legend right there. Okay? That's what legends are right there. And Gary Bunz is with him. Now I feel more comfortable using that word legend. But to us, and I mentioned it when I got out here, I didn't play with Ronnie. I didn't play with a lot of the players that have gone through this program, but when I see them, I just saw Jake McCabe the other day. I see Joe Pavelski. I see Ryan McDonough. When I go to different buildings, we look at each other, we smile, we give each other the Badger wink or the Badger hug, and we have something together. And Ronnie mentioned it about bringing the alumni together. That's the number one thing on what we think we need to do anyways, on bringing everybody here to get the excitement back. You guys are what the program is. You guys are what the fans, and you built the tradition and the history that goes along with Wisconsin hockey. So the alumni deserves a big thank you for giving us the opportunity to be able to be in this position as well. So thanks, Ronnie.
Any other questions? We probably have time for one more.
Hi. I just wanted to know, by improving the team dynamic, do you think you'll be able to keep the older guys around longer as opposed to having sophomores head off to the NHL? Because I know in the recent years we've definitely had a lot of freshmen and a lot of sophomores, and we haven't been able to keep seniors around. So do you think by changing the team dynamic and the bench dynamic that you'll be able to keep them around and build a better team?
Yeah, Mark had a great answer. We talked with Barry about this morning, so why don't you follow up on that one, Mark?
Well, you're going to have, it kind of goes back to the recruiting. You're going to roll up the sleeves and go after the high-end players, and that comes with a little bit of the situation where they're going to leave early. And if you have the likes of Ryan McDonough, Derek Stepan, Kyle Turris, those teams and or those players are going to have opportunity at a high level. The one thing that's going to be very positive for us as a staff is that the NHL understands our staff, and they're going to understand what we're going to be doing with them in terms of development. I think they'll be pretty happy with their kid and their player and their prospect staying right here for a little bit longer this season. And we'll see what happens, but you always have to be prepared that if we're bringing in the high-end kid, they're going to probably be out the door pretty quick.
When we bring them in and they leave, we'll find another one.